that's James's meal for today. These are some little Greek salad hors d'oeuvres that I made, and mine look a little bit different. I put the tomato things on mine, and I didn't put the vegan feta, which I'd made, on mine. And that's my salad, and it takes me hours to make this. So see the other side of that's missing. I'll talk about that in a moment, and I'll get the soup in there. And yeah, so this is the stack, and Muzzle too got top, and this is almost a whole package of cashews went onto his salad, and he's having the banana mango smoothie because he actually prefers that one to the rest of them so far.
It goes no easier. Some of the others are as good as that.
So you'll notice the soup is a bit green. Well, that's because there's cilantro stem juice in there. So there we go. And then when James wants more, he can have more. And
you were going to explain about what happened in the innards of that?
I was going to explain. Yeah. So it takes me a very long time to make meals like this. There's a lot of preparation goes into it. The fake feta, the vegan feta, is that was made a while ago. So if you watched my shows previously, then I explained how to make it, and it's with coconut cream, and it works out really well. If you use the virgin coconut, it tastes like coconut milk. But if you don't, then it doesn't. So you can go ahead and try those hors d'oeuvres and just
these ones here.
Yeah. And I didn't put the tomato on his because we were given tomatoes frozen, and they look okay on mine. Like I cut them up and put little pieces and then put underneath, right? But I thought they don't really look that great. So I gave James the option, if he wants to have it with the tomato, he can. But it would be better if we had, if we had it with fresh cherry tomatoes from our garden.
Well,
but this year,
more. Well, I could even say appetizing. The other day you had
like
some
Solano.
of these in the soup, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're more for soup. I'm going to put them in the soup.
Sure. So the little solanum would look awesome on there. But this year, I don't know if it doesn't look like it's going to be a tomato year. Certainly a radish year. James' garden has a lot of radishes. But, so what do you think of the hors d'oeuvres?
Tasty.
Yeah.
I'm still tasty.
This has taken me several hours to make this, but I'll talk about the hors d'oeuvres for a moment. All I did was I was thinking, well, I really like the avocado for the base, like how I made the Mexican ones with guac, but I'd like it to be Greek salad flavor. So I put lemon juice with the avocado and garlic and oregano, and whirred it in the food processor, and that's my guac for these. And then so I smeared that on the cucumber slices, and then I dunked the guac side into the a saucer of the toasted hemp seeds so that it would stick to that. And then I put some cilantro and, well, on mine I put tomato and the kalamata olives that I took the seeds out. So I didn't have any bell pepper, so I couldn't put that there. And I could have put red onion on James's little pieces, but I didn't think of it until now. So, because I don't put it in my Greek salad because it might give me a headache, and so I don't get in the habit of doing it.
No, Greek salad usually does have red onion in it or some sort of onion.
Yeah.
A good healthy sort of thing. These things are more like hors d'oeuvres, and we tend to think of them, I think, as Not like desserts. They come before. They're almost like desserts before.
So what I'd done is last night, well, yesterday afternoon or whatever, I'd hollowed out a bread bowl for the soup today. And I put it there, and this morning I was getting stuff ready because I try to get as much ready ahead of time as I can so that the meal doesn't take as long to put together later on. And I look and I'm like, the bread bowl's gone. And so I take this other loaf of bread and I hollow it out in the morning. And then I'm getting some other stuff ready for the dinner, like ahead of time, right? And then I hear that James is giving the dogs bread, and I'm like, and I went and checked, and he'd ripped off a corner of the bread bowl there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I was so frustrated. But you know,
you can barely see. Well, I didn't. I thought Pauline was leaving the bread for me to take to my place.
So
it's miscommunication.
Anyway,
I was just trying to be good.
But dinner got done, and it looks great and whatever. I'd had soup in my bowl earlier, so it doesn't look as pretty. And you know, I kind of cut corners to make this meal because it still took me hours. So, but anyway, so. Yeah, we were very fortunate. The library was giving these cashews away. So James got cashews for his salad, but his salad's pretty much the same as mine. I put the leftover toasted hemp seeds from the saucer, I dumped them on my salad. And I put pecans in my salad instead of the cashews. So that's the difference. So my meal's keto and James's is not. But our meals are very similar, really. And I'll certainly have enough to eat there. But
now
anyway,
the cashews, they're salted. That's why you didn't go for them.
They're honey roasted, so they're not keto. Right. So if you look at the package, they're actually not that bad. For like carbs, you get 11 grams of carbs for this package. So net carbs. So if you look, there's carb 13 gram, fiber 2, so you subtract the 2 from the total, and that's what you get. So you get 11 grams net carb for that. But that's quite a bit for when you compare it to the pecans, which I didn't bring the package out, but I believe it's 1 gram net carb for a quarter cup of that, which this isn't even a quarter cup, I don't think. This is very, very little net. Whereas, so I get to eat a lot of the pecans and not with a very high net carb cost. So anyway, your fork is on the other side of your plate.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so if you want to eat your salad. I know, that's why I told you now, because I saw that you'd moved the thing around. I was shocked it didn't fall down. But anyway, we'll have another Aaron Eckhart movie coming up, and I did not expect much from this, I have to say. Not that we have a great stack, but I just thought, okay, well, this is going to be something that James won't want to watch, and I'm just going to do it while I'm working out. So I pounded this one off while I was working out this morning, and it was entertaining. And honestly, I think James might want to watch it. So I didn't expect that. Yeah. It's there's some shortcomings here that are just, I realized, like, this is a new one, 2026, and I think that this sort of thing is coming out of I'm not sure, but things happening like the police officers, I can't remember what their name, they're white Hmong guys, and the other guy definitely got charged with the Black Lives Matter. What was that guy's name?
They were all convicted.
They were all convicted.
All 4 of them.
So,
I think it was a murder or accessory to murder.
Yeah. So I think this is coming out of that, because, I mean, I don't really want to say that much about that, but like
I've got
at
plenty to
first,
say.
when I saw some of the clips that were shown by the media and stuff like that, I thought, oh, well, yeah, it's really obvious. The guy, the police officer did wrong, you know. But then when you watch more video clips and you see more of the story, maybe your attitude might change a little bit. And
If you actually don't have a bad
so
attitude.
and especially after seeing that, and then seeing, like, I didn't know anything about white hamong. What's that? Right? I didn't know. But then when I saw, wait a minute, these people are diverse. They're not white, even though they're called white hamong, these other police officers. Then I thought, wait, that seems like a setup. That seems like a really convenient setup by the media. Using, you know, because once I saw that, I thought people are just going to hear white and they're not going to look into the rest of it, right? They're not going to look in a little bit deeper. And that just seems like a quick media setup to me. So anyway, I think that's where this is coming from. But they managed to make a really great movie out of it for, you know, for its type, right? If you're the kind of, it's a guy movie, or if you're working out, that works out too. But there's a lot of action, and if you like watching police hero sort of movies or something, or maybe Clint Eastwood stuff or something like that, I think this will be your bag. And if you don't, well, it probably won't, right? But I might have more to say about this later. It comes highly recommended from me, just as an action thing to work out to, because every morning I want action. If I'm watching something like this, oh, that's not going to work. So Bookish. Now the stack, actually, there's a big jump here, because Bookish, wow, both James and I was expecting good things. I'm a Bookish sort of person. I like Bookish sort of people, and so I'm expecting great things, and I get into this. We both fell asleep almost instantly watching this. And I had a hard time. Yeah.
I don't have any
so I could
memories
say
at all,
this
really.
is great for if you want something to fall asleep to, because it's almost a guarantee. But it's as the story went along, like, so I was gonna say, don't watch this at all. But as the story went along, like, at first I'm watching and I'm thinking, oh, they got the wrong kind of guy for this Bookish guy. Mm-hmm. He's not likable, really, and he's too tall. He's kind of pretty arrogant and
pretentious.
Yeah. So honestly, not liking him at first, and for quite a while. And then the second disc, at some point, I start liking him a little more, and I start liking the story a little more. And now I'm actually looking forward to the next season. So I don't know what to really say about it.
This was a whole season, wasn't it?
Yeah. So PBS. It sounds like they use the same sort of musician, composer, whatever, maybe both, for the theme music in this, as they did for Scarlet and the Duke, or Miss Scarlet and the Duke, or whatever that was called. And that show is so terrible. And at first I was thinking, this is worse than Miss Scarlet and the Duke. And then which became Miss Scarlet, because the Duke, I guess the actor decided this show is awful, I'm leaving. That's my guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
If you're involved with something like that,
yeah,
get out.
Yeah, you got to get out. So anyway, then by the end of this season, though, I was thinking maybe better than Miss Scarlet. Miss Scarlet is dreadful. So now, The Bride. I expected great things from this. you have an all-star cast you're working with here, basically. A lot of talent. And they put in good work. They did a good job.
Yeah.
But the vehicle sucks.
Yeah.
And this movie sucks. Sucks
very,
hard.
Very restive. I couldn't even sleep through it.
So bad. And it's long too, isn't it?
2 hours almost done, but
there you go. So
I remember.
I don't know. James is definitely going to talk about this.
I suppose.
Because there's continuity issues. There's all sorts of issues. I don't like it when they try to make people, characters, other times seem relatable. This is supposed to be set in 1930s Chicago.
36, they were said.
And so there's a scene where they're in a nightclub, and it seems like a modern nightclub. The music seems like a modern nightclub. She's dancing like modern, dancing more. And I don't like it when they do that.
Yeah.
Period.
There was one clip where, they were doing stuff that was period sort of music, and they're going, that's not going to entirely work. So then it sounded like electronic music, only done with
so James going to talk about
non-electronic, maybe done with non-electronic instruments. Okay.
So James going to talk about the bride a little bit, because he had a lot to say while it was going on. Can you remember what you were going to talk about?
Well, there was one continuity thing. Do you remember the jump?
It was they were stopped by the police.
Oh, they were way out in Indiana or something.
They were in the middle, in the country somewhere. Yeah. You assume, in the middle of nowhere, right? It looks like nowhere. Mm-hmm. And so then they decide to leave the vehicles and go on foot. And I'm like,
and you don't know where. But
you don't know where. Mm-hmm. And I thought, why? Like James said, the police might have called it in, so why didn't they take the police car? And I was thinking, I doubt that would have happened back then, and I doubt that there would have been 2 police in the vehicle back then, but maybe. And I don't
That's a modern day thing, I think.
Like back then, they didn't have cameras in the vehicles or anything like that, so I would have just got back in the vehicle, that they were driving in, and just drive off, right? It would take a while for anybody to find those police in the middle of nowhere anyway, and you'd be long gone. But anyway, I don't like that it's a Bonnie and Clyde kind of story.
One scene was it the closing scene? Spoiler alert here. She at least gets riddled with bullets, and it just goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Once is probably more than enough, and I'm talking about Bonnie and Clyde, 67, whatever. And this doesn't have anything to do really with Bonnie and Clyde, I can tell. So the bride, we might as well give it away. I mean, it's about, because it's right from the beginning, it's the bride of Frankenstein, kind of, sort of.
Yeah. And so the bride of Frankenstein is sort of Mary Shelley.
Sort of. Mm-hmm. I don't know what she was like. They've got her having something like the potty mouth. Maybe she was that way. Her dad was something like a revolutionary. Or granddad. Godwin, I think his name was. In England. So she came, I think, from more famous ancestry, at least, than her significant other, maybe husband, Percy Bysshe Shelley.
Neither one of us liked Frankenstein, like the monster. Liked his character changing.
Yeah, he's kind of a nice guy, kind of shy.
And then he's not.
And then he gets all wild. He's a little like Der Steppenwolf, whatever his name is, Harry Holler. But they, in Hermann Hesse's novel, there's more explanation for the change in his outward appearance. The outward manifestation, I should say, of his character. Anyway, she has a bad influence on.
Yeah. But maybe the character, like the personality change, might be due to how his role model or whatever treated him, but it doesn't seem believable.
I've got to say, Christian Bale or whatever his name is, never thought that highly of him. I have one language problem, can't stand it. But and it's not as though the language prof and I have discussed movies that much, really, if at all. But I thought maybe that's one of his best performances. Maybe the best. It's not great, but pretty good. And you were saying Jake Gyllenhaal was in it? And you were trying to explain which character it was?
The actor.
I know.
Oh, God. Okay. The
guy who was dancing and all that? Holy smokes, Jake, buddy. I didn't know you had it in you, and I've always thought highly of you. That's freaking... Sorry about that. The F. Well, that's not really a bomb. But that's amazing. Jake, you did a great job. I've always thought highly of him. And the sad thing is, I presume it's his sister. Was something like the executive producer or a executive producer. It looks as though it was put out by her. I've always thought highly. I actually consider a better actor than him, and I think they've got about the two saddest pair of eyes I've ever seen. Their parents probably couldn't refuse them anything. Lined up at the supermarket, they wouldn't have to say, here, come on, just here.
And they just look over and fill the cart with candy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They look like stray dogs.
So, Continental Split, this got bottom of the stack. I think this movie, they put out a whole bunch, like this one was more recent, 2025, but they've been putting out a whole bunch of weather catastrophe movies or whatever, for a while. And this one, Continental Split. And I think it's Missouri that they're in, where it's splitting.
Oh,
anyway.
Like the continent is splitting.
Yeah.
It makes sense because around the biggest, I think, outside of Alaska, the biggest earthquake they've ever had in the U.S. is right in the middle of it, a place called New Madrid, and might be in Missouri.
Okay.
So it's right on the Mississippi
River. Well, there you go. That's where they set
and
this.
stuff like that. So
anyway.
But that was a long time ago, I understand. So if you're living in that area, don't get all paranoid. It was like 1802 or something like that.
This is ridiculous, this show. But anyway, I think it's based on, or influenced by stuff like this, Frozen Planet 2, where, the world, so many problems, this and that, and then these sort of movies show up, right? And I don't know, I guess we're supposed to think, oh, well, maybe this fracking guy, he's okay after all. And lucky thing he had that big fracking hole, so that they could... But there's problems in this. Maybe I wasn't paying, this was another workout one, but maybe I wasn't paying really close attention to it, but when I thought the other guys had the explosive equipment or whatever, and then all of a sudden these guys had it to wrap up the movie, and I don't know how that happened. So, and plus the movie is just really stupid. They don't have subtitles available, so you actually do have to listen to it, and it was recorded pretty quietly, actually, for I would have liked
like
to
disaster movie.
Yeah, like the speaking parts, and I never like that when the music is blah 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 blah, and then there's speaking really quietly. So anyway,
we were going to finish up with the continuity about
were we
that one thing.
Okay.
Yeah, they're out in the countryside.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we forgot to. Lucky thing you remembered.
Someplace.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, they're right in the middle of presumably Chicago. And it's, people when they're in the cars, don't understand what it's like to hoof.
Like how long it takes to actually hike somewhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you're young, you get all beaten up and tired out. And I think the hoof is a bit shot at that point. Well, they looked about as spry as a once they made it into Chicago, as a couple of chipmunks at a picnic in Waterloo Park.
Mm-hmm.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, as they say. So. Now understand, we never feed animals in national parks or in nature preserves or anything like that. Follow the rules. And you're not advised to.
If we have, it was by accident.
Well,
Like, I don't know
we
if
try to
the
clean up
squirrels in...
where crumbs fall.
What is that Kelly's bathtub? What's the name of the park that it's in? Schwarzer something?
That's a very good memory. Schwitzer, I think.
Oh,
Schwitzer Park, something like that.
I can't remember. Anyway, it's by Jasper. There's a provincial park that's awesome there.
It's very nice.
And
and you've got a nice little swimming. It's not a swimming hole. The locals come from. It's not around the corner. It's Hinton, I think, or Edson. One of those two. I always mix those two up. But it's the one of the two larger towns that are between Edmonton and Jasper Park.
Mm-hmm.
But the entrance to the Schwitzer Park is just outside the entrance, just east of the entrance. The southern entrance, just east of the entrance to Jasper Park. I should say the eastern entrance to Jasper Park. There are 3 entrances.
so what I was going to say is the squirrels there will steal off your plate on the picnic table while you're trying to eat. They are incredible. They'll be right there.
Yeah.
So if we fed some
Real
squirrels,
mooches.
we did not mean
Inadvertent.
to, but they could have run off with stuff.
Yep. I'd forgotten about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're driving. Who was it we had at that time? Tornado?
Oh, it was driving them nuts, eh?
Mhm.
I remember that now.
Mm-hmm.
It would be tornado. The first time we experienced that.
Because he knew they were being bad. He never would have done that.
No,
he never would
no,
have taken
no.
food off of my plate.
No. You could hold it right under his nose.
Mm-hmm.
Very well-behaved dog when it came to certain things.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, house training and eating food. When it came to walks, he was a little ADHD. Can't have everything.
Yeah. So yeah.
But a dog who's house trained, I'm telling you, that is like a blessing from above.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was so good that way, man.
We've had 4 dogs at least that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Paris, Tornado, Copper, and Annifred.
Yeah. But Tornado I trained from a wee little baby.
8 weeks old?
And he didn't have any other, any bad influences around, so.
Well, that's key, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Paris was trained for us, so was Copper.
Mm-hmm.
Annifred had bad influences, but
She was so good.
she didn't pay attention.
No, she was a great dog. My best dog.